And the role and place as believers. So the purpose of the church and our role and place as believers. So you see those two commandments, on them lie everything, all the laws, everything. Because if you love the Lord your God and you love your neighbor, you won't steal. You won't steal from your neighbor. You will not bear false witness against your neighbor. You get what I'm saying? So all the laws, all the commandments, on these two do they hinge? They are hinged on these two. So it's love. Summary. Because if you love, you will not bear false witness, you will not kill, you will not lie to your neighbor, you will not cheat your neighbor, you won't take advantage of them. In fact, love, you prefer your neighbor to yourself. You look out for your neighbor. Matthew 28, 19 to 20. He said, go into the world and make what? Disciples of nations and all of that. So I would typically say, are we here? I would typically say that the same way if you talk about Apple, are we here? If you talk about Apple, you would easily say that Apple creates what? iPhone, yeah? The same way, when you talk about some other brands, Coca-Cola, Coke, Great Coke and all that, even though they might have other brands. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. For we as believers, what's our brand? Jesus. So yes, it's not just, so what's our product? So our product is disciples. You understand? It's to make disciples of people. People that have the life of Christ in them now, that are now, replicating the same. You get? So it's about disciples. It's not just about followers. It's not just about I'm a follower of Christ. It's about raising disciples. So which means, over and again, we need to check ourselves against these purposes of the church. Do you get what I'm saying? But more than just making disciples, there are other aspects of the church that are also the purpose of the church. Are we here?
Yes, sir.
And there's a man called Rick Warren in his book, Purpose Driven Church. He went to where the church began in Acts chapter 2, and was able to bring out the 5 purposes of the church, of the New Testament church. Are we here?
Yes, sir.
So he was able to bring that out. So, and he put it here. So the church was designed by God for a purpose. There's a reason for which God created the church. It's not just for us to come and hear beautiful sermons, come and dance and come and enjoy our company and fellowship alone. That is one of the purposes. But there are multiple purposes of the church. And the more you understand it, the more effective you will be. That's why the topic of this is the purpose of the church. And our role and place as believers is important. Because when purpose is not known, like we have said, abuse is inevitable. You get? So you can be coming to a place and you can be underutilizing its potential because you have not come to the realization of what's the essence of the church? What is it doing? So, for example, people even question, why should I come to church every Sunday? Why can't I just do one Sunday off, one Sunday off? Why can't I do 2? Or once a month? Do you get what I'm saying? So there are reasons and there are purposes that are tied. And the more you understand these things, it's like understanding. So the reason why you do something well and effectively and consistently is because you now understand it well. So it's a knowing. And that is what this will bring us to. So the church is designed by God for a purpose. In fact, there are 5 basic purposes for each and every church if we are building biblically. Do you get? So if we are building biblically. Do you get what I'm saying? That's biblically. Mhm. You get what I'm saying biblically. So, Dr. Requiring told us that there are 5 purposes of the church, and um, of course, purpose-driven church, that God has designed us for 5 purposes, and He expresses it in these 5 ways. So, and for us too as a church, that is how we have postured. Our structure is the 5 purposes. Mirroring this. That's why all of our teammates and our pastors, this is how we structure as a church, and this is how they man the different aspects of the church. For some of you that don't know, I just wonder, oh, we just have all of these units and all of these teams. The first one here is what? Missions. Do you get what I'm saying? Missions. So, as it were, then the missions. Then the second is what? Magnify, which is like programs. This is our Sunday service now. Hmm? Are you understanding now? Teammates, that you don't know why you are doing what you are doing or where you are. Are we here? Are you following? So you see that magnify. The next one is what? Membership. The next one is what? Maturity. Then the other one then is ministry. So each of these have what is synonymous to them. So now there might be a bit of tweak here and there depending on our context. But this is where it was picked from. Hope you are not confused. I'll show you in the scripture how all of these things are there in Acts chapter 2, the first church. So the first one is missions. So in missions, you are thinking in terms of reaching out. You are going on missions. So largely like outreach. You are doing outreach. You are reaching people for Christ. You are meeting them on the basis of their need. You get? So when you go and meet people, even though you know their real needs, people may not know that that's what they really need. There's what they call real need. There's what they call felt need. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, reading and learning from Requiring, I studied and I learned years ago that you don't catch a fish on your own terms. Is this so? You catch a fish on the fish's term. Do you understand? You might like chicken and chips. If you put it in the hook and you put it there, you might not catch anything inside the water. Is that not so? If you put in your hook and you throw it in the water, it might just be plain. But do you like worm? But does fish like worm? So once you put worm in it might be just like, what's this nonsense? But you put it there. That nonsense is what the fish will come for. You get the idea? So which means when you are thinking in terms of you want to reach out to people on one of the aspects of the purpose of the church, you must be able to think in view of the people. How best can we reach them? So that's outreach. Then magnify. It talks about our communal fellowship, worship. We come to magnify the name of God. So when we come every Sunday, that's the aspect that it comes. We come to honor His name. You get what I'm saying? Then the next one is membership. So fellowship. So because where there are people, there will be fellowshipping. So there must be a system for that. When membership, you are looking at their well-being, their welfare. Are they doing well? We are celebrating their birthdays. We are doing all of these things. Do you get what I'm saying? Then the next one is what? Maturity. Like we learned like we've learned, in church, is that everyone starts out as a baby. It's expected that after a while you develop to maturity, to a full-grown man spiritually. So God expects that we raise disciples. Those are the matured people. Do you get what I'm saying? It's disciples that you can depend on, that can get things done and all of that. Are we here? Then there's ministry. So haven't grown, you need to do the work of the ministry. So you need to serve. Are we here? And one of the purposes of even our human person is we are saved to serve. Do you understand? You are saved to serve. So these basic 5 purposes of every local expression of the body of Christ are based on the example of the early church as found in Acts chapter 2, 42, 47. So you see, they continue was steadfastly in the apostles' what? So that doctrine is teaching. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are being taught doctrine. You are being taught. What does teaching does for you? It develops you to what? Discipleship, to maturity. Do you understand what I'm saying? So one of the purpose of the church is to disciple, is to teach, is to mature believers. Are we here? So look at it. He said they what they continue apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and to break bread and what, and to prayer. So that's like fellowship and worship. Do you get what I'm saying? You come together, you break bread, you do that. So we are fellowshipping, we are worshiping together. Do you understand that? So that has to speak with some aspect of membership. So they had all things common. So there was fellowship going on there. They come together, they have all things common. So you can see that. So they gave as everyone had need. Here he showed us that that's service. You took of what you have, you brought it to for the use of everybody, to serve everybody. Do you know that if we do this as a church in a proper local assembly, we'll be very strong. Do you know that it is said statistically that every average church, I heard these statistics a couple of years ago. I don't know what it is now. I'm just trying to show you. Every average church, that the giving as they measure in terms of tithing, that is about 18% that tithes. Do you understand? So what would that mean? So it means that about 82% of people don't tithe, or maybe don't give at all. Imagine if you had even that reverse, 80% of people are giving. Is the church not going to be doing it? Is the church not going to be able to do a lot? You know, and sometimes people depend on the church. Let them serve now in this capacity. Can the church fix the road? Can the church, Abby? You know, people say that a lot. Can the church help just to put street lights so that they will not be robbing this place again? Can the church do this? But where would the money come from? Do you get what I'm saying? That if you understand the role, your role and your part, you will see that selfishness is causing us more harm than good. That we are better together, and we are defeated by default in separate ways. We are better together as a team. We are defeated already by default individually, because one is not enough to achieve significance. Just imagine that we follow this pattern of the early church, the first church. If they sold all they had, they brought it forward to the apostles. They now distributed to everybody as they had need. Imagine that. Because if you went further, when you hear the story of Ananias and Sapphira, that's Acts chapter 5, you see how that in verse 4, how that there was a guy called Son of Consolation, Barnabas, that he sold all he had and he kept bringing. Do you get what I mean? He brought it so that they can distribute. You get the idea. It's more about the idea, the heart, the spirit. Get my point? Oh, nobody say go and sell you have and bring go. You get the concept. It's to say that we have a sense of responsibility. That on the back of that, the church is now empowered to do even much more. They can't bamboozle us around now. Over 80% of our people are tithing and giving. Do you know what that means? That means we can have enough resources. So all this one, they can't come and say they want to bamboozle us. Come and leave, come and increase rent, come and... Do you get what I'm saying? We will have money, we will have influence, we will have power. Because people that are giving their money, they can also use their skill. A lawyer will come forward and say, what's going on here? Do you get what I'm saying? An engineer will come up, a project manager will come up. I know. So please, pastor, don't worry, just keep going fasting and praying. Leave this one for us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's undo this project. Let's do it like this. And together, everybody will be stronger if we walk in this purpose of the church. I don't know if this is making sense to you. That everybody putting back their foot is not doing us a lot of good. We might not like to say it because we don't talk about, money or this. Imagine that everybody is showing up in their time. You understand? You show up in your time. When we say let's be here by 11, you are there. We are going for publicity, everybody show up. Do you know what it mean? Number is strength. One of the keys that have helping a nation like China is because they have the numbers. That's why they can be having their own products. All this tussle that goes on, United States, all this, that they can have their own products because they have the number that will buy it. Do you understand? They have this. So if you say you are not in numbers game, maybe you are not in the God game. Because God is into numbers. As a matter of fact, I can name one of the book of the Bible numbers. So God is into numbers. So you have to be big on it. We must win souls. We must serve. You must give big. You must plan it. I will give plenty. Don't say it's some people that will do it. It's me. And it starts from where you are. They continue daily one accord in temple. That's communal worship. We come. That's magnify. It's like this, Abby. We come to the temple. This is like our temple. You get the idea? We come together. We worship. Everyone always live edified. Have you not noticed? You live better. You live strengthened. You live. Imagine we understand that and we guard it with all our heart. We're not waiting for the pastors. It's the united that will do it. You are actively participating and contributing your part. Just imagine that. That everybody has this mentality. We'll be so strong. And let me tell you, it matters. The reason why they cannot bamboozle some of our churches and our local assemblies is because you have some churches. They have 50,000 sitters, 250,000 sitters, 80,000 sitters. Do you get what I'm saying? Some facility, they have 3 million sitters. If you go to like a Redeem, do you get what I'm saying? They have where the so those numbers, you can't just shove them aside. Do you know that in some parts of this country, in the north, every other time they are killing Christians, they are burning churches. You may never know. Do you get? Because maybe no number and they are few, as it were. But if we come as a force, they can't push you aside anyhow. Even the Bible says that woe to that one that is alone when he falls. Ecclesiastes. It says a threefold cause is not easily broken. 2 is better than 1. Do you get what I'm saying? So it means that try it. Take a broom. Remove one strand. Break it. It will break. You don't understand. You're not going to even break it. You can even put 2. You can be. But 3, you see that it's getting stronger. But then you pack all the bunch. Try and break it. Can you break it? Because while you're trying to break, there are too many compartments, too many layers of strength. Do you get what I'm saying? That we are consolidated. Your own weakness, somebody's strength. My own weakness, somebody's strength. My own strength might be somebody's weakness. You get what I'm saying? Well, we are not competing, but we are collaborating. We are complementing each other. Then we'll be strong as a church. Enough of playing. See, as a church, see, I'm telling you for free. If everybody here alone make up their mind, when I mean everybody, look at us. Say, we here. Forget people that are not here or this. We here. I make up my mind that this is my local assembly. Everything I have, I'll be using to back the cause of God here. If we do that, we'll be taking strength from each other. We'll be stronger. Because we are as strong as our weakest link. Are we here? If somebody's weak, all of us are weak. But if we all stand up strong for ourselves, we are all strong.